Coding Challenge Review, Intermediate, last JavaScript Coding Challenge of the Winter Bootcamp. What we got today? Yeah, I'm going to skip some of the questions because obviously we've covered them already. Find word in capitals. Okay, let's do that one. That's an easy one, right? Find word in capitals. So we receive a sentence, and we want to see if that sentence has any word in capitals or not, right? We want to find the first one. Which method in JavaScript can help us to identify capital word, guys? How we do that?
To uppercase.
To uppercase, but to uppercase on what? We have a sentence, right? We need probably to chop it. We need to split, you know. Yeah, we need to do a few things with it. So first of all, let's...
You can either use regex or chop it.
Correct. You can use a regex, but I'll go with the long path. So I'll split it by words, right? So once I got access to each individual word, can I use find? Yeah. So give me a word that is the same as word.to uppercase. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Anything else? That's pretty basic, right? Did I miss anything? Okay, let's see if I... The dot... Oh, yes. You are right. The dot. Oh, yes. Thank you, Poppy. The dot, right? That will help for sure. Right. Now, there is a corner case. So, what happened here? So, what happened here is that if there are no capital words, we should return an empty string, right? We could create a variable, or if you prefer, we can do that.
We can just do an over.
Correct. Or empty string, yeah? So if we got any capital, then return it. If not, return empty string, yeah? Even though that's correct, or that should be correct, let's try that. It is correct, indeed. You know, I'm not a big fan of these sort of expressions because they're a bit hard to read. So what I will personally do is I will create a variable, word in capitals equals, yeah? And then finally, at the end, I will return word in capitals or empty string. I find this approach a bit more elegant, personally, yeah? And of course, it still works. So, what you did here, Dave, literally the same thing, right? Split, find, and then capital word or empty string, and Rafa, the same thing, yeah? Rafa created another variable, capital, and Dave, you know, just did everything inlined. All good, guys. Any question? No? Right, so let's just do question number, that's a good one. Question number 2. We nerd on that. Oh, I collapsed the code. I didn't even know that was possible. I don't know what I've done. Oh, look, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know how that happened, guys. It's the magic of JavaScript and libraries, right? You never have full control on how they work. So,
are you using VS Code in the background?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
I could use the VS Code shortcut.
Yeah. That's the VS Code editor. Correct. Yeah. Okay. So you can use the same shortcuts, at least the majority of the shortcuts and all these sort of things. So we have a function called getWinners that receives an array of YouTubers. Not sure if you follow any of them. And then we need to identify which ones have won at least one challenge. Yeah. So we have an array of positions. So essentially we want to keep the YouTuber name if he or she has won at least one challenge. Yeah. In the first example, the first YouTuber has won one, keep it. The second one hasn't won any challenge. Yes, ignore it. And the third one has won another challenge. Yeah, so keep it. Yes, a bit off topic. This guy has the record in Twitter with the most retweeted tweet ever. It's like 2 million retweets or something like that. Anyway, let's see how to do that. YouTubers, return YouTubers. I want to filter, right? So, because we got 3 and eventually we got 2. So to me, naturally, the first thing I will do is try to filter. So for each YouTuber, how do I decide if I keep it or not? So what I'm going to do is I need to check positions, yeah? So return YouTuber.positions. And then how do we check, guys, if the position number 1 is part of the array? Sum. Correct. I like it, Poppy. I like it, Poppy. So, there are different ways to do that, yeah? So we can do, can we do dot includes? 1?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be probably the easiest solution. We'll try with sum, because I think sum is particularly interesting as well. But let's leave it with includes for now. So we'll keep the YouTuber if he has won a challenge. But then we want to return, we have to format the outcome a bit, right? So first of all, I'm going to use map to just keep the name of the YouTuber. So I will do .map YouTuber.name. So that will keep just an array of strings.
YouTuber channel.
Sorry, that's correct. It's not name, it's channel. Yeah, channel. And finally, we have to join it, right? How do we join? What's the argument we pass to join, guys?
Single quotes, comma, space.
Single quotes, comma, space. Agree. I agree on that. Dot join single quotes, comma, space. So that will be probably the easiest way to solve the problem, unless I fail. Unexpected token function. Yeah, this is the sort of things that we don't pay attention, generally speaking. That function has the function token twice. Yeah? It's a sneaky question to see how much you pay attention to these details. So once you fix that, now, and once you add the semicolon, and these sort of things that the majority of you already look after, then it's all good. Yeah? And now Poppy suggested to use sum. Let's do that. With sum, essentially we can do YouTuber.positions.sum. That receives a callback function. So then we can do position equal 1. So what we said here is A, check all the positions of the YouTuber, and is some of them, that means at least one is position number 1, that means she's the winner, then that function will return what?
True.
True, correct. If none of the positions are 1, that function will return false. Let's see if that works. Correct. It works. We get the penalty on the max line length of 65. So then we can add the breakpoint, we can add the break line somewhere, and then problem solved. Yeah. What you did here, guys? So, oh, no one solved it. Interesting. Interesting. So no one solved it, even though Dave, the idea was the approach, I believe, was correct using filter. Yeah. Same for Rafa. Rafa went a bit farther by trying to deal with the positions, right? So I hope, guys, you show how to determine whether that element is part of the array. Again, either includes or some. Cool. So question number, not the third one. We resolved that on Friday, I believe. Oh, sorry, on Monday or maybe last week. I'll skip it. And that will be the last one on intermediate. It's very similar, to be honest. It's you know, it follows the same pattern, the same structure. So we want to find the top players. So we got some random people, and then we want to filter which ones have always finished on the podium. Instead of who has won at least one challenge, here the question is who has always finished in the podium. Yeah? So it's very similar. Find top players. We will receive an argument with the list of players. So then I'm going to follow the same structure, guys. Again, return players.filter, yeah? And then for each player, what do we do? We'll see. For each player, we want to keep it if player.results. How do we know, guys, if all the results are between 1 and 3? .every, correct. That's the simplest way to check that, right? With .every, we can do player.results.every result. Result is less or equal to 3 or less than 4. Yeah?
Less than 4, yeah.
That's probably the sexiest way to determine whether an array where all the elements of the array match the given condition. And again, if all the results are 1, 2, 3, that function will return true. If one of the elements is 4 or above 4, that function will return false. Yeah? Unsurprisingly. So then it's the same thing now. We just need to keep the names, so we can do map. So for each player, return player.name. We should be careful because we don't want the name. We just want the first name. Yeah, you see? We don't care about the last name. So how do we keep the first name?
Split space.
Correct. We can do player.name dot split space. Anything else?
And join, into join.
Okay, let's do the join. Join. We need to join them instead of using a comma, an ampersand, right? So we need space, ampersand, space. Will this work?
Can I ask a question before we go any further? Why
Yep.
did you choose to say that we only need the first name when the name is given as two names?
So you see,
You only want the first name?
yeah, because that's what the test expects, right? We're ignoring the last name just to make it a bit more spicy. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think, guys? Will this work? No, why not, Poppy?
Because we're doing both surname and first name, so we need to so with the split,
Yeah.
we say naught by the side of it, so it's just the first name.
Correct. So then how do we keep just the first name?
So you just put the side of split,
So
Yeah.
we need to
square brackets.
Yeah.
zero.
Correct. Well done, guys. Yes, that was missing, definitely. Otherwise, a split will return an array.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see if that works. Yeah, all good. All good. Cool. So again, let's have a look to your proposal. Question number 3, 4, yeah, whatever. So Dave, pretty much the same thing, right? Players, filter, player, every, map, and join. So that's the same thing. And for Rafa, filter, every, map, and join. Same thing. All good, guys. Good to see that you got the idea. Do you remember this guy, Rafa? Yes. Was the former Brazilian coach when Brazil won the World Cup in 1994 in the US, right? Cool. So you can see I get bored sometimes with thinking about weird names. Cool, so I think that's pretty much it, because question number 5, which we've resolved like 200 times already, I'm obviously going to ignore it. Yeah, anything else? Dave, Bala, Mo, Aisel?
Nothing else, but it's always good to do higher order functions, how many ever number times we do.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, thank you guys. See you in 135 minutes on the review of Expert. Last review of the bootcamp. Thank you guys.